Welcome, everyone, to the USS Recorder on the Wall. I am your jolly captain, Matthias 720, and we are here to enjoy ourselves.
Yes, I'm Pete, and is this about the 3-hour tour? I don't see the SS Minnow.
And
Well,
I'm
that was
Katie.
2 weeks ago, and you missed it.
I'm Katie, and I demand to see the manager.
I'm sorry, he's unavailable right now.
I will stay here and yell at you until you summon him.
I cannot hear you.
All right.
Castaways 3, Book 2. Something like that.
Lots of ships.
Yes. And a dangerous freedom.
So when we last left our heroes, they were on the Seagen, and this secret Almi Serato was going to sell the completely unsuspecting troop into slavery and not tell them about it. But our intrepid duo they know what's going on, and they've warned the August Rizzoli, and they're making their big plot thank you. Sorry, I'll get to that in a second. Big plot to get off the ship, and by doing the master's technique of jumping overboard.
Yep.
Abandoned ship!
Before we go further, we mentioned this in the last episode, and it bears repeating. Parents, if you're listening to this with Dibbins, this book does cover, slavery, European classical model of slavery. And as we said last episode, we're going to address this as best we can, but it does go over things we can't just ignore because fantasy series. Oh no, this is happening more in our world as such as it is. There is also one other thing that we will do a content warning ahead of when we get to it, but I will remind you on that before we actually start discussing it.
It's going to be a fun podcast. No,
yep,
we'll make it.
Of course
we'll
it
make
is.
it fun.
Yes.
Fun, happy, cheerful, joyful time. Yes.
Hey, there is a puppy, so it can't be all bad, right?
There's also a shark. Oh, wait, that's bad.
That's bad.
And unfortunately, he's not entertaining like Bruce in Finding Nemo.
Nice.
I am annoyed shock. I'm sorry, all our Australian listeners. I very much apologize.
I don't apologize. I know my accent is bad. I'm doing it intentionally.
Okay. So, we start off on the Seagen, and Ben and Ned's grand master plan is to cut one of the main ropes. But totally do it secretly by walking up to the rope and kind of just cutting it. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong, this plan actually works out for them. Because they basically snap one of the major ropes holding one of the sails, and the sail doesn't blow away.
And they're immediately suspected, though. It's not like, who could have done this? Everyone's like, oh, yep, it was that white dude and his dog.
Yeah. The crew rushes on deck to handle, because, if you lose one of your sails, that's a major problem. And hey, what was that sound of the diving and splashing?
Oh, before I forget, the chapter art for this time, Ben and Ned jumping over. Just see them sailing through the air. Ned is jumping head first, and Ben is jumping feet first.
Whee! And compared to a character we will see later, and they're jumping into the water, they at least have the sense to do this right.
Yes. It is a graceful belly flop.
Whee!
So yes, they're into the water, and as the crew are dressing with the sail, they basically just hang in the shadow of the ship to not be seen. Which is actually very smart.
Mm-hmm.
How does this not get the attention of Vanderdecken? Like, they're in the water.
I can never figure out if Vanderdecken is actually there or if he's just like they're hallucinating him.
Good
Or
point.
both.
Or A and B. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, in the last book, we did see Vanderdecken when present. It's just like, ooh, spooky, I'm going to get ya.
Yeah.
But in this entire section, he only kind of appears in, like, quick visions. So, yes, they basically hang in the shadow of the ship not to be seen, and Alice Miserato is like, hey, wait a minute. Where's that jerk kid and his jerk dog? Oh, man. But he's more like, I will skin them alive when I catch them.
Okay, Farrago.
Yeah, that's kind of not wrong here.
With a touch of Ergen Negru to begin with.
Yeah.
I will say a little Slygar when he gets really frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Could see that.
But, of course, the troop are up on deck. Hey, what's going on? They're like, go back down, and your friend is a jerk, and we're going to skin him alive when he catches him. And, yeah, Serafina is incredibly worried for her not boyfriend.
Yes.
But, yeah. And they then get the bright idea of, hey, there's that piece of wood that broke from the mast with the portion of the sail that's still there. Let's grab it and swim with it, and they'll never see us.
Spoiler alert, they see them.
Sort of. We also get a asterisk for see original Castaways of the Flying Dutchman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
When they cling to this spar and grab the fender rope, that's his mind harking back to a century ago. It's literally asterisk, and at the bottom of the page, see Castaways of the Flying Dutchman.
Does that take you guys out of the story at all, or is it just sort of like a footnote, so it doesn't really?
This one did, but the foreign language words we get here and there, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's depends on the context. Some of them are a little bit more jarring than others. This particular one didn't bother me so much just because in the hardcover edition, that is literally the paragraph at the bottom of the page, and then there's like a small gap, and then immediately underneath it says, see Castaways of the Flying Dutchman. So it's like my eye traveled a whole quarter inch.
Okay.
That's interesting because in my Mass Market paperback, that's like the first sentence on the top of the page, and then the asterisk points to all the way down.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never know what those like. In the last Twilight book, there are a whole bunch of vampires, and one of the characters comments like, "We need an index to keep all these vampires straight." And then there's a little asterisk after index, and it points you to an index at the back of the book with all the vampires. I'm just like, that's very meta of you, Stephanie Meyer.
At least she's not trying to sell you an extra book like Vampires at Twilight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and the angel's on our side tonight. See, we're gonna swim out to sea behind the spar, say 6 ship lengths away. Then we'll go towards the island that we're nearby. They totally won't see this. Hey guys, what's that in the horizon? Huh. Looks like a piece of wood, but no one's attached to it. Let's shoot it.
Yes, this is always kind of jarring to me just because I'm so used to Redwall. Like, I was like, guns do not belong in a Brian Jakes novel, even though I know that logically in this time period that is completely not true. Guns would belong there, but I'm just like, no, guns don't belong in Redwall. Wait, this isn't Redwall. Like,
the crew don't actually see our intrepid duo, but they do decide to take pot shots at their piece of wood, and men can actually feel the musket balls digging into the wood as they miss.
yeah. Whew.
Oof.
Yeah. And I do love Al, I'm just going to call him Al, because, easier. The big bad. Al Misurata is now Al from now on.
Okay.
And Al's just like, do you see the boy and the dog? Did you get them? No, Lord, we're firing at that thing out there. And it's just like, do you see a boy and a dog out there? No. Well, ammunition is expensive. Stop that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it how when the villains scold their underlings and they end up being on the right track. Like that happens a lot in Redwall too. Like why are you searching like something like let's search inside that hollow log where they're hiding in, and the captain's like that's stupid. Why would they be hiding in a hollow log? Yeah, it's like I mean they actually were out there. They almost got them. So chill out, Al.
Yep. Although I liked it when he's just like looking out over the ocean. It's like, just refresh my memory. That is the spar which came from this ship, is it not? Aye, Lord. Then why is it not floating alongside the ship? Why is it far away out there? I wonder.
And then you gotta love our Mr. B, Bomba for the record, for
Meh.
people to remember that. But Mr. B from now on. He's like, oh, Lord, you mean? And Al Misar's like, you only get a headache for trying to think, idiot.
Yep.
So Al's big plan is to basically have a team go on the island when they dock to go search for the kid, because he's convinced, quite rightly, that Ben did use the spar to escape.
Yep. So chapter 15, you see what I believe is Mr. B looking through a spyglass, and he is not a pleasant-looking fellow.
Good. He does not
Very,
deserve to be.
to put it politely, homely? And I'll stop there.
Yep. So our two wash up on shore, and it's like, land, beautiful terra firma, yay! And yeah, of course, we're hungry. Let's go get food. And of course, yes, the Seagen basically does eventually make land, but like, which way you go? And like, okay, you take those 4 people. And Mr. Beach is like, your wish is my command. I live only to see our lord. He's like the big dumb brute in every cartoon you've ever seen.
Which way did they go, George? Which way did they go?
Yeah, him. Oh, and Serafina is being extra dramatic because she's weeping, and she says, if Ben and Ned died, I don't want to go on living.
Honey, you've known him for like 5 days. It's okay.
This is still a crush, okay? You can't,
Yeah.
you can't, no. And yeah, he does, and this is where Papa Rizzoli basically is like, yeah, so the guy, gee, man, the man who already deals in slaves may not be honorable.
You mean the slaver has slaves?
What?
Yes.
No.
So Ben and Ed come across a nice father and son. We have Francisco, and Francisco, son of Francisco.
Gone, son of gun.
Yeah, pretty much. They do so tactical sense where Ned investigates first because A, he's black and can hide easier, and B, humans are less likely to consider a stray dog than they would another hurt human. So, which basically gets them quick information by just listening about who these people are and proof of my psychic powers. Yes, they do make friends, and it's like, okay, but you should totally go into town and not stick around us, because there might be bad people around, okay? Oh, can we borrow your boat?
We'll totally not smash it.
We have insurance, don't worry.
I would put in some kind of insurance company jingle here, but I don't want us to get demonetized or copyright strike or DMCA or whatever.
I appreciate that.
Like a good neighbor.
Hush.
So yes, they borrow the boat and like, okay, we'll be fine.
And they get food too. They give them food.
Yes, they also give them food.
I don't know if I would like a sardine sandwich, but I'd be willing to try one.
Hey, if you're starving, anything's going to look good.
Yeah.
So, Mr. B leading the force, and it's like, well, keep going, keep going. They can't be far ahead, and even one of his underlings just basically is full of snark. I'm not taking orders from a slave driver. Slow and sure gets the job done properly. And Mr. B does not take this well, but they end up firing off a gunshot by mistake.
Yeah, he trips and falls and misfires.
In his
Yep.
haste,
Yes.
proving that haste makes waste.
Yep. Oh, hey, was that a gunshot? They're looking for us. Let's hide better.
Yeah.
Yes. I just have this sneaking suspicion he's trying to do everything he can to please the boss, suck up, kiss up, whatever. And he really just, all he can think about is, hey, if the boss likes me more, I get more money.
Yep.
Or he wants Almi Sarata to sign off on that PTO request.
Yes.
Fair. Maybe even, slyly underwrite it on the company's credit card.
Ah, that's a shop. Let's get down here and let's lay low. Ali Sarata has also come ashore on his horse, and he's heard the gunshot, and he literally snatches the gun away from Mr. B.
Good.
As he points out, you just basically gave our position away. Thanks, buddy. And he says, I get back to the ship. They'll try again when it's dark. Okay, that'll make it easier to find them, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
because, hey, they can't see us coming, but, oh, wait, we can't see them. And one of them has black fur.
And dogs can see in the dark.
And Mama's going, Mr. B is going back to the ship.
Yeah, he gets no respect, and that's fine.
So they find a very nice looking ship. Like it's basically implied that it's not a luxury liner. It's better than the average ship running around. And it has the name White Ram on her bows. And we're gonna grow to like the crew of this ship, but more on them later. So they go around. And they're like, huh. Oh, hey, there's a kid on deck. Hi, mysterious youth. Oh, hi. I'm named Joshua. How are you guys doing? Oh, fine. And don't worry. I don't worry about me falling off the ship. I know how to swim. See, I'll dive into the water and I can't enter a cartoon whistle here and smack
Yep.
into a belly flop.
It's just like a kid, though. Watch me do this trick.
I'll be fine. And
Don't
this
worry,
is where
my arm always bent like that.
And this is where the cover, the United States cover of the mass market paperback, and I assume the hardback comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and dun 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 dun. We have, hey, that's a shark fin coming out of. Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed.
So
Count
yes,
your
there's
fingers,
Josh.
count your fingers, count your paws. Look out! Here comes Jaws.
Indeed. So the cover of the U.S. mass market paperback, and Matthias, you'll have to confirm this for the hardback, is what I mentioned last episode, is a picture of Ben in a slightly broken boat, about to take a big old whack at a shark with an oar.
Mm-hmm. That's the same cover on the hardcover.
In the back end is now Joshua being saved by Ned.
Yep.
Good, Ned. Good boy.
Ethan. He is a good boy.
Yes. And chapter art for chapter 16 is the shark. Looking very shark-like.
Yep. And yeah, Ben is kind of vicious. Like, you don't really see this kid as being the vicious type. Oh, no. He is literally beating the shark up.
Yep.
He keeps smacking it with the oar, and eventually the shark basically says, oh, you want to play tug of war, huh? And he grabs the oar in his mouth. Like, I want this back, human. And just when you think, literally Ben thinks, oh, this shark's gonna pull me into the water and I'm gonna die. Everyone, a bunch of people on the ship shoots it with flintlock muskets, and the shark gets shot up a bunch. Aw, poor Sharky.
He's quite wounded. And then some of his friends come and have him for dinner.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Yes, we're going to have dinner of you.
Should I bring any wine or extras?
No, but you can scream all you'd like.
Oh. As you said, they're having a friend for dinner.
Yep.
So Ben, Ned, and Joshua are pulled onto the White Ram, and the ship's captain, who is a very, I think he's my favorite character this entire section.
He is awesome.
Yes. We have, getting his name accurately, this is Ela Bar Shimon. Did I say that right?
Eli, I believe, isn't it?
Yep.
Eli Bar Simon? Shimon?
How do you pronounce? I cannot remember how you. This tells you how much I read these. I'll listen to these audiobooks because I cannot remember.
We're going to go Shimon until we
Okay.
hear for other reason. Anyways, I'm Eli Bar Shimon of Escalon. I leader of the lead a family of warrior merchants. Name your reward. I will gladly give it to you if it's in my power. And Ben is very humble. He's like, no, we're good. But the shark kind of wrecked our boat. Oh, is that all? And he sends an underling to go find the fisherman and to give him a smaller boat and reimbursement for the boat that was broken.
Specifically, it's one of the White Ram's, the smaller of their two, like, escape boats, and 4 gold coins, which is probably A, a nicer boat, and B, more money than this fisherman has ever seen in his life.
I think we're
Yes.
told that this is basically worth 10 times his original boat.
Yep.
That's pretty good. So, we do hear about it later, but basically the fisherman's like, oh, but I'm getting gold for my trouble? Okay.
That's fine.
I lost a boat, but then now I got a better boat. Yeah, I'm not sad in the slightest. Thank you for destroying my old boat.
Yep. But yes. But Eli hears out their story, and he's like, oh, okay. He basically gives him hospitality, and you gotta love Sass Dog, because he's like, he mentions, oh, that's a fine dog. I would love to hear about your fine dog. Fine dog? And Ned's like, will you kindly inform our friend I'm the magnificent Neto?
Yes.
And Ben's response is like, you don't stop boasting, I'll tell you your real name is Boondy.
Nice.
So yeah,
that joke will never get old.
Yeah.
It comes up several more times in this book, and I love it.
Yep. And yes. Yeah, he's the most and we almost need to start a gonna call you Boondy counter, because this joke comes up a couple of times.
Yep, and it's always funny, so that's
Yes.
fine.
I also heard Fiddler on the Roof in my head when I saw L'Haim in print.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a production of that a couple years ago.
Who did you play?
Just chorus.
Okay.
I wanted to play the Russian soloist in the song To Life, and I am speaking. Well, okay, I'm gonna be humble bragging here. I know how to belt. I'm very good at breath control, and I can really put power behind my voice. And I've been with this theater company for 4 years. And the director gave the part to someone who he could belt too, but he also brought 3 daughters to add to the chorus. So, yeah. Thanks, director. I'm not bitter about it. Shut up.
Sure, let's go with that.
Said director also cast himself as Tevye, so,
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But moving back to this book.
Eli's awesome.
When Alami Sarata's name is dropped, and I want to compliment Brian again. There's no tying any stereotypes to a particular faith, but he's like, oh, Alami Sarata, he's a pirate, a slaver, and worse things, and he's neither Jewish nor Arabic, a truly evil parasite. So props to Brian on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like, how do I want to put this? It's like, here is a character who is Jewish, who's saying, well, he's neither of like Jewish descent nor, specifically of Islam. And as we discussed last book, Al-Mizrata only worships money. That is his religion. So he's basically pointing out here, it's like, it doesn't matter what your religion is, but, make sure you have faith in the right thing. And Al-Mizrata does not have faith in the right thing.
Correct. So yeah, it's basically like, oh, well, he's a jerk, and I owe you a debt. So yeah, I will take you where you need to go, so you can help save your friends. And Ben, to his credit, is like, no, this isn't your fight. Just we'll sneak onto a different ship. It's like, no, this is a matter of honor. And eventually Ben agrees. But
Yes, I don't think Ben is convinced of Eli's capabilities in the fighting department, but he will soon learn that Eli is a warrior grandpa.
he is like, yes. He definitely fits the Papa Wolf trope to a T.
Yeah.
But he basically Ben agrees to the deal of, hey, you can sail us, but on one condition: let us ashore at Piran, where they're going to meet up with the Sea Jin to rescue their friends. And then Eli is no longer involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Oh, and you see this bow that I made from the horns of a mighty ram by my grandfather? So I don't like muskets, but I get to use this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he'll never have reason to. He's going to use it. It's literally a Chekhov's gun. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not literally a gun.
No,
it isn't. Oh shoot.
I'm just being pedantic.
Okay, I get your point.
Nah.
I mean, I could fletch another pun for you, but I should probably stop here.
Ding.
I'm laughing too hard. Someone take over.
You broke the habit.
I'm not sorry.
Well, Matthias, go.
Yeah, you got to take over now.
Okay. So Ben and Ned, they settle down in a comfortable bunk, and they are very happy with their lot, because not only are they not on a cursed ghost ship, they aren't on a slave ship.
And everyone's friendly.
Yeah, they actually get some good sleep until shortly before midnight. They're awakened by the sound of shouts from on deck.
Uh-oh.
Chapter ends. Chapter 17, we see chapter art, a guy mounted on a horse. The horse is wading through the water, starting to rear up, and the guy is waving a musket one-handed over his head. I wonder, are we going to be attacked?
No.
Yes, it's an attack. So Ben and Ned go to find out what's going on. Eli's basically like, you two, you take my grandson. Go hide. Get away from here.
Yeah, they're after you. What are you doing up here?
And of course, it's Al and his horde trying to sneak up on the boat, and well, that doesn't work.
Nope.
Because the two guys that Eli sent to deliver to Francisco, father of Francisco, the boat, they came back, and as they were returning, ran into Al's crew, and, well, that went about as well as you expect.
Yes. Have we mentioned that Joshua's kind of adorable? Because he is.
Absolutely adorable.
Yes.
Yes. And we get our first attempt, basically. We get our first look at. Did we go over chapter 17's art?
Yeah, the guy on the horseback.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But yes. Amisara's is like, I should talk to these guys directly. We'll get to that in a minute. This is a short chapter.
Yeah.
Like 2 pages.
Not
But
very long at all.
I do love Eli's reaction when he hears that Amisarata is coming directly. He's like, there's no sheep here, only this old ram. My bow has slain more than one mangy wolf in his day. We go back to chapter 18. What's the artwork?
The artwork for chapter 18 is what I can only assume is the white ram sailing along. You see it from the back, and the sails look very much like the Sydney Opera House with its big swoops. Only this is less so swoops to the back and their swoops up. But they're very swoopy sails. How many times can I say swoop before it stops sounding like a real word? Swoop, 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 swoop. Okay, now I'm just talking nonsense. Ignore me.
But yes, we do see the Rizzoli troop. They do like, hey, we want to know what's going on, so we're going to step out and say, we're going to go see our mayor, Papaya. And literally, Almi Serrata is like, hey, what do you guys do? What are you victims? I mean, guests. Getting out of your cabin. You need to stay inside. We just want to visit our mayor. Your horse is fine. Go to your cabin. And Otto does not take this well.
No, he does not.
And Al's reaction is to literally point his gun at Serafina's face.
Yes, she was like, "I'll go with you because they wouldn't harm a girl." No, she's mistaken. This guy don't care.
Yep. Will harm a child trope.
Yes.
Yep.
So. Oh, and there's Asmitra approaching the White Ram. It's like, but he's doing it on a tiny little a rowboat, one of the smaller boats, the ship. He's like, "Oh, I'm a legitimate businessman. Yes,
I represent distinguished businessman."
I am Al Businessman. Respect my business.
Al Businessman, and I'm totally here to I have a quick question for you. You're not here to sell me horses, are you? No, I'm looking for a jerk kid and this jerk dog. I don't know where they are.
We don't have any jerks, kids, or dogs here.
They're liars and thieves, and you should totally turn them over to me if you have them. Wink. And Eli's just like, I don't have them on my ship. Go away. And Al takes this well. He's like, well, I will search your ship, and I will totally do it, and you just shot my guy.
Yep.
Huh. Well, to be fair, one of Al's people does musket shoot at Eli, but misses wildly. And
because that's the kind of marksman they are.
Yeah, Eli has quite the bit of courage because he's just like, hey, Zachary, one of his own crew, mark him, and he Zach shoots the guy who had shot at Eli. So you want to keep this up? Oh, and well, that's fine. My ship's coming to ram you or board you. And there's a sea gen, and he's like, well, I have an idea. Set a course to starboard, slip the anchor cable, and lay on all sail, then await my orders. Yeah. So this is like, how can we outrun a ship that's faster than us? Hey, isn't there a captain in the water in that tiny little rowboat? Why, yes, he is.
This is brilliant.
And they basically just shoot the cannon at the little boat. Now, in any, I'm sorry, if you're shooting the cannon at a tiny little boat like that what should have happened here is that little boat goes the entire splinters and kills everyone on board, including the big bad. Mm-hmm. It's not, to my chagrin.
Because this is a work of fiction and hardly reflects real life.
What it does do is knock Amisara into the water, and of course the cliche here is the big bad actually, even though he's been a pirate his whole life, to operate on the water, can't swim.
Cliche or not, I did like it.
Yes.
And
I
have
love
this
the
image
way
of
the way Brian phrases this is it's just beautiful. It is a known fact that some seamen cannot swim, despite having spent most of their lives sailing the main. Al Miserata was one such seaman.
and I have this image of him getting shot into the air by the little robot getting destroyed, doing the goofy yell and falling into the water.
Even before you said that, it's like, is it going to be the goofy yell?
And yeah, Yahoo! And I hope I can't swim. Okay, boss, we're gonna rescue you. We just have to break off from chasing those guys.
And of course, Al's going to ignore this later on completely because all that matters is, you lost them, you incompetent fools.
You could have let him drown. I'm just saying, he's not exactly a well-regarded boss.
No.
Oh, they should have done a grunt and curdly.
Oh yeah.
So yes, and the White Ram takes off, and of course the warriors on board sing their own song, which is, you know, it's all about how we're awesome, mighty warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yay!
Eli wins.
Yep. So, chapter 19. How's the artwork?
It's a pigeon.
Interesting choice. But literally, that's how the chapter begins. With someone feeding the birds. Show them that they care.
Tuppence a bag.
Yes. But unfortunately, it's not a good person feeding the birds. It's another villain. Padre Malens.
Otherwise known as Padre Slimeball in my head.
So it shall be known from here on out. Padre Slimeball. He is literally, and if he's called a false priest, he's a pirate. He's a pirate who dresses as a priest to fool people. And he's literally, apparently he's being hired by Al Miserata, so he's hiring mercenaries now.
And he is cousin to Genio. Genio? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah. Oh, and because they apparently got a messenger pigeon from Al Miserata saying, hey, you catch the kid, I'll give you some gold. And, dead or alive, what do we care? But we get to keep the boat. Because even one of our Padre Slimeball's like, one of his people's like, we'll wreck the ship on the rocks. Like, oh, dude, it's a nice ship. We're keeping it.
We're just going to kill everybody on board. It'll be fine.
Everybody wins.
This is a foolproof plan where nothing could go wrong.
Spoilers. Yeah,
we're competent.
There's very few competent villains in this book.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So, and so this Rizzoli troop's like, well, at least we know Ben and Ned got saved, so yeah, good times. And I bet our Al Miserata's pretty mad when he got hauled aboard dripping wet, and yes, Al Miserata is exactly that. As Matthias just said. You want to remind us?
Oh, just, how dare you don't go and get them? Why did you stop to save me? Because you were going to drown and die. Do you want to die? Why didn't you stop them? What is the male equivalent of a Karen? Because that's basically what he's being at this point.
I've heard a couple of things, a couple
Chad.
of options, but I like that one.
I've heard Karen and Chad. No offense to anyone named Karen or Chad. One of my best friends' name is Karen, and she's lovely.
I know a number of Karens, and they are all very nice people.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for actually named Karen, because that's terrible.
Yeah, my friend Karen's like, I understand that this is a very important thing in culture where these women behave like this, and it's disgusting. But did they have to pick my name? I feel you.
I also know somebody named Chad. He's a really great guy.
I'm sure.
Yep. So, but yes, Al's still throwing a temper tantrum. He's like, Oh, you should have caught the kid. Yes, you. I didn't. I know you were pulling me out of the water, but we'll catch up to them. We'll still get them. So go hire some mercenaries for me. Hence, what we have in the chapter.
Yes.
So and go back to the troop, and they're basically like, "Yeah, this is still sucks," and but they get the bright idea of to basically figure out what more is going on. They're going to slip Mwaga the snake down to the hold and send Lalindi down after.
I
Because
like her.
she's the only one who knows who normally handles the snake.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, none of the other guards are going to want to touch the snake, so I shall be the one to rescue the snake when it escapes.
Yep. And of course, because, Ryan likes to write himself some songs, and of course he again has to mention Serafina being beautiful and black. Yes. Serafina does a song, and he describes it, the beautiful black girl breaks out into a song.
And the actress in the audiobook is quite talented.
Oh, good.
I should just throw that out there.
That's good to know. And she sings the song basically to distract the crew. And, hey, where did the snake and Lalindi go? I don't know.
Not important.
Yep. But they go down there not just to find out what was going on, but because there's an ancient gun that's in their cart. Basically a blunderbuss that needs considerable repair.
It's a bit of a fixer-upper.
It was hung off of a pair of pins underneath the back porch of the wagon.
Yep.
All I can think of is, kind of like hiding the spare key underneath your porch, just like, no one's ever going to think here. That's where everybody stores their spare key. Don't put it there.
Yep. I do want to point out there is a good phrase here that Pavari is always just like, oh, we're all in the hands of the mighty. He will help. But Otto, who's looking at inspecting the gun that they've recovered, it's like, yeah, but the Almighty doesn't mind us helping themselves. And you know what? I think this turn of phrase is considerably underrated in the modern day. Regardless of your own personal theology or none at all, it's I've always been of the opinion, like, if you want change to happen, you have to take action. So it's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of believed that, like, when you pray, you should be called to, like, do something.
Yes.
Yeah, there's that classic, it's like kind of like a joke, kind of like a parable, somewhere in between, about the guy who's like, oh God, save me, there's a flood coming.
Mm-hmm.
And several different people come by and are like, you want saving, dude? No, I'm waiting for the Lord. Eventually he drowns and he gets the pearly gates. It's like, what happened? It's like, well, you were sent, car, a boat, even a helicopter, and I don't know what else you expect.
I literally sent 20 boats after you, my dude.
So, chapter 20. What's our
artwork?
Eli with his bow, but it looks like your standard bow, but the entire curved arch looks like ram horn. It doesn't look like a horn I've seen on any animal before. Like, how do I want to put this? Okay, the horns of an antelope, if you were to take them off of the skull and put them end to end, that would kind of be what it looks like. When I think rams, I think, sheep with those super curly horns on their heads. This is like straightened out.
Yeah, it could be a sable antelope, for example.
I don't know. It annoys me on some small fundamental level, and that's all I'll say.
Does Eli look like a cool warrior grandpa?
How do I best describe? Well, he's wearing like a robe that you would normally see with those depictions of like ancient Hebrews. Mm-hmm. So kind of like that, but also looks like it might have a hood attached. It's got long droopy sleeves, not unlike a habit sleeve. I don't know if there was some influence there. and he's got long hair with a headband and a long flowing beard.
Nice.
So if I had to compare to something in pop culture, kind of like a lot of depictions you'd see of like, I don't know, probably Neptune.
Okay.
You know, definitely the sort of guy that you would expect to see on the water in an older piece of fiction. Oh yeah, and the end of the arrow on the bow is on fire because of course it is.
I wonder if that'll happen.
No, probably not. I mean, we all know that these chapter arts lie consistently. They don't reflect the book at all.
And they don't spoil things either.
Shh, spoilers.
So, chapter 20, and this is Twilight when this is happening. It's like, But yes, it's basically just more like, it's more talk between Eli, Ben, Ned, and Joshua. And Eli's finding more and more reasons to like these kids to save his grandson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you know what that means? When someone likes Ben too much, he has to run away.
More or less. But they also mentioned that Joshua is going to cook, and Ned is very hungry. And here's our food porn for this section.
Okay, Ned's a lab, though. He's always hungry.
But he cooks lamb. And speaking as a man who actually bought ground lamb not terribly long ago,
Chef's kiss?
I saw a headline just yesterday saying that basically if we switched over our livestock from beef to like sheep, it could do a lot for the climate crisis. But that's neither here nor there. Just popped into my head.
Well, it wasn't cheap. I was doing it to a buddy of mine who, when he came over for Bad Movie Night, had some dietary restrictions. We couldn't do beef for whatever reason. So we agreed to do lamb. And I first checked a local butcher shop where it was like $20 a pound.
Woo!
Yeah. And I went over to local Fresh Time, which can be expensive in its own right, but it was only $10 a pound. So we made tacos out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
Never had ground lamb. I've had unground lamb, which
Yeah,
is a
I've had
very
lamb.
convoluted way of saying that.
I've had lamb chops before too. So.
There you go. That's a more
That
English
almost
way of
sounds like a play on words. I know it isn't, but it very much could be.
Yep. We also have another song. One of the crew, who's singing. The song about Zion and Israel. So.
Yep.
In furthering clear, this is a Jewish warrior family.
If it wasn't obvious already.
Yes.
Yes. So. Oh, and they like, oh, hey, Ben, do you want to sing? No, I have a terrible voice, and Ned's no better. But we'll do some magic for you, and we have another Boondy joke.
Yes, because Ned is like, well, you didn't ask me if I wanted to do this act, and Ben's like, so sorry, but if you don't do it, I'll tell them that your real name is Boondy.
He's like, well, I suppose I could do it.
No, he's just like, I'm sorry, maybe it was thoughtless of anything. Oh, no, wait.
Yeah, I'll do it. Just don't you dare mention that dreadful name ever again. Poor Otto, doing his best.
Yes. So, yes. Oh, and hi, Vendor Decken.
Yep.
Hey, I'm back. You guys want to join my crew again? Seriously, Vanderdecken. Hobby.
I love how you kind of turned him into the sad Eeyore character. Like, you guys sure you don't want to join my cruise ship? It's really cool.
I just, I want to succeed in life, and now I can't succeed in life or death. Just throw me a bone here, something. I'm depressed. I can't, go get a therapist because We didn't have one on ship.
And my crew are kind of sore. I killed the first mate for trying to guard all their lives. Yeah.
Yep. But he's an omen of something bad that is happening in
Yeah.
Oz. Oh, whoops.
Well,
Wrong
he's
story.
an omen that makes you go, oh man.
So yes. So yeah. Oh, and basically, it did what they take is like, oh, there's probably something bad happening. So, and Eli's just like, huh. Well, my house breeds warriors, not murderers. So, we'll just we'll talk this out before we resort to violence.
Yeah, I really like that because he's aware that some of the people that are working for Slimeball are just people that have families to feed, and that they are only doing this because they're poor and they need the money. And it might not be the best life choice, but they're not like 100% evil people like Slimeball is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, huh, there's a priest out there on a boat. Hey guys, I'm sorry for sneaking up on you with muffled oars and a quiet ship, but I'm totally on the level. Why is there a flaming arrow on my chest?
Yes. Well, you didn't light any of your lamps. You looked like you needed some fire.
Oh, I'm suddenly much warmer. Far too warm. I'm very on fire.
At least I'm not on. Oh.
No, he's very on fire.
He
To
is
be
very-
to be fair, we're making fun of this, but Eli does actually like, huh? No. I can see through. He can literally see through this.
Well,
And
it
he
doesn't.
writes. He's literally like, I am Padre Butro, and these men are prisoners. We want to visit your ship so I can stow with a blessing. Yeah.
But he drops his like priestly attitude very fast. As soon as there is any sign of resistance from Eli, he just turns into his real Slimeball self. And then
Yeah.
Eli's like, all right, all right.
And that's the big problem with these, all of the bad guys here. The second they're called out, they don't still to try to play up, the charm here when they really should be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And back in episode 1, because I finished editing it earlier today, to point out Almi Serato was almost had been convinced at one point. But no. They just resort to, well, that didn't work. I'm going to totally board your ship because I'm violent and I hate you and whoosh.
Yep. Bye-bye.
So, yep. And it's only the leader who gets killed, the fake priest, and they basically threaten they do a warning shot with the cannon, and to their credit, the rest of the people are like, oh, we're good. Bye. Sorry about
Goodbye.
that.
We apologize. Please don't kill us.
Thank you for killing our terrible boss.
We finally get that time off he promised us 3 years ago.
So, yeah, that happened. And to be fair, Eli does regret when he has to run to violence. So, I do enjoy that about the character, that he A, doesn't rush to violence, and B, but is prepared to use it when necessary, but doesn't like that he had to.
Yes, but he did have to because that guy was not going to listen to reason. So.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and when Gino catches up with the fake priest now liberated crew, he's like, "Hey, what happened to my cousin? Oh, he's kind of caught a bad case of death. Thankfully, not contagious in this case, but yeah. But yes, they killed our boss. So Gino's not. But they also point out, hey, you kind of told us that the White Ram wasn't heavily armed and we could just do this really easily. So yeah.
Thanks
Why'd
for
you do
that.
that? Why'd you do that? We go back to Al Miserato, who hears Gino's report. It's like, well, darn it. And go put the performers back in their accommodations. Why do they keep going out of their cabins? Oh, I don't know, because they want to. And the only problem here is that it's all said in jest, but it was a little uncomfortable at the same time when they're like, well, if we do get sold, if some of us get sold into slavery, would you buy us back? It's like,
Yeah, that was especially weird when the black character's making slavery jokes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's a little not comfortable. And I mean, like, me being a very white person, I don't think I can speak to this like with any degree of authority, but I just think that's a little weird from my perspective.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's. Let me put it this way: if anybody is going to be making a slavery joke, it should not be the white people.
Mm.
And even if it is somebody who's not white making a slavery joke, it seems in bad taste regardless.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's me just being sensitive, and it's one of those things. It's like, well, if they want to take hold of it and use that themselves rather than having it used against them, more power to them. But me, as an also very, very white, very pale guy, I am the last person who should be making such judgment calls. I have
Right.
opinions. I do not think they should be binding opinions.
But I mean, also Jake's was white, so it's like, should he have done that being white as well? And I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. I'm not sure we can, but just to say, don't get me wrong. I know they're doing this for humor, but it did come off a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. A touch tone deaf.
Yes. So, chapter 21.
Chapter art is a dog that is very clearly not Ned running.
Yay!
Another dog. I can't see this happening. No, we can only have one.
I mean, Ned is not the Highlander dog.
We shall see. But yay. So yes, they pull into port at Melito. The White Ram does. And we meet another new character. Fra Salvatore, who is a Franciscan monk. And Ned's first reaction is like, I like him. He looks like an old saint. But yes, he does feed them, so that's already a good starting point.
Yep, any lab's gonna like you if you feed them.
Yep. And Fra Salvatore is like, also, so I keep messenger pigeons, and word's gotten around that Alice Masirita is out for you. So, and yeah, you killed the false padre, so thank you for that. Oh, because our Franciscan here even calls the false, now very dead priest, be quote certain of Satan himself, servant of Satan himself. What he could not steal, he would kill or burn. So yeah, wow.
Yep, that's kind of like why everyone is celebrating as they pull in. They're like, "What did we do? You killed the slime ball! Woo!"
Oh, thanks. And
Ding
again,
dong, the witch is dead.
Yeah.
and again, Eli's also like, well, so I didn't want to, but had to. So,
Yep.
oh, but yeah, I'm sure another ship's gonna come after you. Oh yeah, the Sea Djinn is still chasing you. But yes, they basically work out that despite what was earlier promised, it is best for Ben and Ned to get off now and take another ship to Piran, which is their ultimate destination, and let the White Ram take off because there's less danger involved ultimately.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't quite work the way they want it to, but at least they tried.
No. And Ben and Ned realize this is the best option, although Eli really doesn't want to do this because, again, as far as he's concerned, this is a matter of honor. No, they do. This is going to be the best option.
Yeah.
So they do. Before they can get to their next ship, the quote Blue Turtle, we meet our other doggo.
Yes. Someone is beating a puppy, and Ned took exception to that.
Takes a lot of exception to that.
Yes.
He doesn't
With
even
much prejudice.
Yeah.
Doesn't even ask permission or even let Ben know what he's doing. He's just literally runs up and starts mauling this guy. Good
Yep,
doggy.
good for him, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good doggy. Because let's be honest here, I don't think any of us are going to defend a puppy beater.
Nope.
I mean, I'm a cat person more than a dog person, but no, that is not okay. That is very much not okay.
Yeah,
He
and I
is
mean,
good as boy.
I'm a dog person more than a cat person, but any kind of torture of small or large animals I do not like. So,
Yep.
yes.
And it takes Ben and Frost Observatory to pull that off.
Yes.
And the guy who was the puppy beater's like, well, I'll totally go to the cops and have your animal destroyed. And well, that probably would happen if the cops catch. So, but so it's just like, oh, we should probably get to our ship before the police can catch us. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, and the little puppy's left behind, who is all over Ned, and it's adorable.
He's a very
Mhm.
happy puppy.
I mean, we've all seen videos on the internet of a new puppy being introduced to an adult dog, and most of them is the adult dog like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you got me a friend, and the puppy is intimidated. But this is the exact opposite. Where
Yep.
Ned is trying to
Mhm.
take this in good humor, but this puppy keeps saying one word the entire time to Ned. And it's the
Amico.
Italian for friend, I believe.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is Jake's captures puppies and dogs very well, I must say, because this is exactly what a puppy is going to be like.
Yep.
And the puppy keeps saying Amico, 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 which becomes his name. And I like Amico.
Yes, I do too. It reminds me of like when he's chewing on Ned's tail. Or my sister got a black lab puppy for her kids, and the first time he met my dog, he started chewing on her tail, and she looked back at him like, Why are you doing that? What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Don't pretend that you weren't exactly the same at his age."
Yes.
Just like Ben said to Ned.
This is all beneath me. I am dignified. You don't remember 6.5 years ago?
Shut up.
Moving on.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Again, that takes it, but even the priests, even our friend 6 months, like, well, I can't take him. So if the jerk puppy beater comes back, he'll claim the puppy right again. So.
Yep. So we have to take him along. Yay!
Yep. They get introduced to the Blue Turtles captain, Costas. I don't even know how to say that.
Trimboti.
Yeah.
Yep. He's just a traitor, and yeah.
He's very jolly. He reminds me of that otter captain from Lomehedge,
Yes.
whose name that I cannot remember. It'll come to me.
So
Garfo
he's
something.
just
Garfo Truck.
he's not a true pirate, but he clearly outright says, "I'm not squeaky clean either."
Mm-hmm. And his teeth are made of gold, literally.
Yes. So, and hey, we have this annoying puppy who won't leave us alone. Do you want another dog? Sure. So, but yes. And Amico is very bitey, which, yes, puppies are.
And their teeth are sharp.
Yep. They don't always realize that, yeah, when you're playing, you're not supposed to bite people, but they do in this case. Yeah. So, take your dogs to the cook, boy. Tell him to feed that off the crackling off the pork we had last night. So, yeah, Ned's eating really well of late.
Yep, very happy dog.
Because all dogs like pork and by extension bacon, and then I'm reminded of that Beggin' Strip commercial.
Oh, I never used to give my parents' dogs bacon, but every time I handled it, I would let them lick my fingers, and oh man, did they love that!
Yeah, I never give my dog anything fun just because I don't want to With the service animal, it's you have to keep a really strict diet just because one, they're in public, and if they ate something that's going to disagree with them, I don't want to deal with that in public. And two, I don't want her to start begging. So,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
but she does have her own treats. Not like I'm depriving her of everything good.
Although, would she agree?
Probably not. I'm not going to ask her.
No comment.
And Costas keeps finding everything to laugh at. Like, this is one thing. He keeps laughing at everything. So.
Yes, like Brookflow from Rackety Tam. I don't know why I keep bringing this back to Redwall, but that is what I'm doing. So.
Yep. So Frost Laboratory has basically hired the Blue Turtle to transport cargo to a Covenant who's very close to Piran. So. And Costas even's like, their abbess is a very terrible lady. She thinks I'm a villainous pirate who's reformed. Do I look like a pirate?
No comment.
Ben's reaction is, well, you don't look like the Archbishop. But yes, it's all good. So. And of course, Ned and Amiko team up to knock this guy to the ground and do what dogs do.
Yes.
Because dogs.
Yes. Although the puppy is literally biting at the fallen captain's ankles. Ow!
Yes.
But Costa, being a very large gentleman, is like laughing while he's saying, "Help! I'm being attacked by wild dogs! Mercy!"
Yes.
I totally believe that's exactly what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back with Mr. Misery and his sour bunch.
Old miserable, as Ned calls him.
Yes. That guy that Ned attacked because he was beating Emiko?
Mm-hmm.
That guy is been found and is currently being questioned.
Welp.
Who do I root for here?
Yeah. No one.
Neither side. They both
Yes.
stink.
Mm-hmm. Huh. I guess I'm okay with that.
So Al finds
they're
out
questioning
that
him. So
Yeah.
finds out that Ben and Ned aren't on the White Ram anymore, and it's like, okay, I guess the White Ram isn't going to be playing any more of a role in this story.
yeah. Bye, White Ram. I honestly don't know if we'll see them again.
I don't remember either.
And I don't remember either, because it's been well over a decade.
So none of us are capable of spoiling.
Yep.
You mean I can't go spoilers?
Well, you can if you would like.
Yeah, but there's no context. It's meaningless. If I went spoilers every time there were no spoilers, people would get, just absolutely bored of the joke. And I mean, I can only go spoilers so many times before it just becomes, I don't know, repetitive.
Okay.
Yeah,
annoying.
What if I say Rose dies?
Spoilers.
There you go.
Well, at this point, and also our Rizzoli troop who are still on the ship, they hear where they're going, and Mama Rizzo is like, huh, there's a convent near Piran. I'm sure if we get there, they'll protect us.
Yeah.
That's
I think
convenient.
that might be some foreshadowing. Maybe even 5 shadowing.
Meanwhile, Bamba is checking on her. People is like, well, and he's got his knife on his knife's like, I'm trying to threaten you. And Otto's just like, yeah, remember when I threatened to kill you last book? Oh, yeah. Yeah, your knife doesn't scare me. Run along. But they're worried that if Ben's on the Blue Turtle, that has no chance against the Sea Gen. I don't know.
We will have to wait and see.
So, chapter 22.
Chapter art, boat. I think that could be the sea turtle. I am not sure. But it's being rocked by the waves of a storm.
Jakes loves to incorporate storms into his sea adventures.
Of course. So, and Ned is still having to babysit this little puppy, and he's basically resorted to get off my lawn stage.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you've ever watched an adult dog interact with a puppy, at some point they're only going to put up with it for so long, and before they turn and growl or otherwise teach this puppy, like, okay, you need to stop now.
Yeah. It's hilarious too when the adult dog is tiny and the puppy is enormous. Because
Yes.
when my dog was a younger dog, my aunt has a poodle who was a former puppy mill mom. So
Mhm.
sadly, she was a mother far sooner than she should have been, but she was a mother. And so when she was introduced to my dog was this giant puppy. And sometimes she did the mother dog thing of, hey, puppy, back off. And she was this tiny poodle with this fairly large golden retriever. And it was pretty funny. And Fawn was like, oh, sorry, Mom. I'll be good.
Yeah. That admittedly was my parents' dog after my sister got hers, because she's a miniature schnauzer and my sister's is a Bernedoodle, and Milo, the Bernedoodle, was much bigger than Susie, but she still growled and was like, no, you're in my territory, pal.
Yep.
I also like it when you see the videos of like a cat that absolutely has 100% control over a dog. So it's like, I'm going to sleep in your bed. I'm going to assert dominance. And the dog's just like, okay. It just sleeps on like half the bed. On the one hand, I feel bad for the dog. On the other hand, it's really funny.
So, chapter 22. It continues. Oh, yeah, there's the Siegen, and hey, how do they know where we are? This is supposed to be a secret. Hey, do you think the guy that Ned attacked back on shore? No.
Never.
Nah, it's probably not tramping. But they're basically just like, hey, the blue turtle may be slower and older, but we're fine. We've got some tricks here. So we're only a third of their size, and they probably haven't spotted us yet. And oops, there's a storm.
Yep.
Sorry,
Also,
when you said tricks, all I could think of was, are we going to do a repeat of the Trinidad Shuffle from book 2?
I would hope, but no, we're not. What we do get is Ben basically calling out Ned, who's incredibly annoyed with Amiko. Like, weren't you young once? Yeah, about 100 years ago. Yep. And then, yes, our storm is approaching. So, batten down the hatches. Dive! No, it's not the submarine. But this Blue Turtle is a very old ship that is not handling the storm very well. And
yeah.
this next sequence gets very tense.
Yeah, I forgot about this part.
The galley gets basically breached, and all the storms doing damage causes the galley oven, the fire there, to get out of control, and the galley is now on fire. And Ned, Amiko, and the cook are all trapped inside the galley because debris has basically locked the door shut.
Yes.
You know that image of the dog surrounded by fire, and he's got the coffee cups wearing the fedora, and it's just like, this is fine.
Yeah.
That is not this image in the slightest.
Yeah.
This is not fine.
This is very not fine. Ben gets an axe and pulls a Rose in Titanic, and or if you will, The Shining, when what's his face is Jack Nicholson's character is chasing.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah, here's Johnny. But they use an axe to break in, and we're told the puppy's coat is on fire.
Yeah.
And they all go into the water. And basically it's like Ben pulls the thankfully relatively unharmed. I mean, yeah, probably a little scorched, but the puppy's okay. But yeah, Ben gets stunned by the ship. And Oh, hi, Vanderdecken.
Yep.
Come with me, boy. Sail the seas for eternity. You and the dog were always part of my crew.
Don't you want to come on my ship?
It's very nice.
It's like, you won't be like lonely and stuff, and you won't have to be like sad because everybody you know dies. Just come on, man. Just for a century or two. It's not gonna be that bad.
For eternity.
But
I mean, what, did I say that out loud?
I mean, beep, beep, beep. It's your alarm. It's past eternity.
Yep. And thankfully, Ben wakes back up because apparently, Amico had been biting him, and yeah, puppy teeth are sharp.
Ouch.
Oops.
Well, it worked.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it worked. And they pull him back on board. And I'm like, I'm okay. The dogs are okay too, right?
Everybody's
And
okay.
Amico still won't let go of Ned's tail. Seriously,
This
Ned,
is a
you
toy,
can,
right? I can play with it.
Ned, you can lay down some law here.
Oh, poor Ned. He's a big old softy.
That leads us to chapter 23, the last one in this section. What's our artwork?
Somebody, I'm not going to say who, taking a headfirst dive off of a ship of some sort. Spoilers.
So we give it again with the bad guys, and they need to find the blue turtle. So, and at some point his crew's like, "This is one kid. Why do you care this much?"
He knows too much. He knows too much. He's heard too much. He must be killed.
Dude, your reputation's pretty much already known throughout the Mediterranean.
Has this guy never had anyone escape from him ever?
Apparently not. It also goes to our troop who are talking about their scenario. They're also in the storm, and this really sucks because they've been below decks as long as they have, and they would like some fresh air. So Otto gets the bright idea. Let's lead a few of them towards. He literally breaks down the door's lock because he's Kryptonian. Changed my mind. And he basically leads them out. And Bamba, Mr. B, he is either having seasickness or is drunk or both because he has a half-empty wine bottle in his head. He's like, go downstairs. You guys are all jerks. I'm not drunk as you think I am.
I'm not as thin as you drunk I am.
Yeah. And this is where I need to remind people content warning. Again, parents, if you're listening with your Divins, please take this in mind, or anyone who does not want to listen to this stuff, you may want to skip forward a few minutes here. But content warning, sexual harassment.
Yeah, Jake's
Okay.
Jake's does the thing. Yeah, he does something that I don't think he's ever done in previous books. Someone can correct me on that, but he definitely says that he wants Seraphina to go back to his cabin with him and
To sing for him.
To sing for him, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a thing that I'm used to with Jake's. And the thing that kind of bothers me about this is we don't get Seraphina's thoughts on any of this. Like, we don't really get in her head at all. We see her through other people's eyes being worried about Ben. That's pretty much what she's done this whole book, is to be worried about Ben. We don't get her thoughts on this at all. And speaking as someone who had at one point an older man, I was 17, he was in his 20s, make advances that I did not want on me. And it was terrifying, confusing, made me mad, disgusted. Like, I had so many feelings, and I just wish we would have got into her head to see how she was feeling. Maybe she was like, this dude's doing it in front of Otto, nothing is going to happen, and I'm going to watch him die, and it's going to be hilarious. But maybe not. And I don't know if Jake's just thought that he couldn't do this very well, or he didn't think that it was necessary, but I don't know. I kind of think that I would have liked it better if he would at least tried to give some of her thoughts on this, because it's a very serious issue that I don't think was given enough attention.
Definitely could have used a bit more gravitas.
Yeah.
It was kind of written off a little bit too quickly.
I mean, did I enjoy Otto breaking his neck and throwing him overboard? Yes. However.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely uncomfortable, but thankfully retribution is swift.
Yes, very much so.
And Otto's a Kryptonian changed it. Otto, stop! Stop!
He went from Superman to Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He basically just like, no, we're not dealing with this. Cupping one hand around the slaver's mouth, he grabbed him by the back of the neck and twisted.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yep. Oh, bye, Mr. B. You won't be missed. Okay, what's for lunch?
Yeah.
And Otto was heard to mutter, "Puny bod."
Oh, I would have loved it so more if he did do that Loki bash with Mr. B. But yes, Bomba's dead. Oh no.
Oh no.
And they get the bright idea of, oh, we just tossed him overboard. Ends our chapter art.
Yes.
And Mama Rizzoli is incredibly quick thinking.
Oh yeah.
Because she's just like, okay, I know the story. Let me handle this.
Well, and she doesn't, I mean, she kind of lies, but she tells mostly the truth. Like, hey, he was harassing her, and,
We didn't stand for it, and he got his just desserts by falling over the edge.
Yeah.
Oh, and he probably broke his neck when he hit the water.
Yeah,
So,
too bad.
And here's the thing about Mr. B's reputation among his own crew. No one cares.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. And he's not
Nope.
even mentioned. Like, oh. I mean, Gino reports to Naomi Serati. He's like, oh. It's like, he also, Gino's just like, let me correct that. Naomi Serati's like, why do you look so happy about our friend's untimely end? Like, and Gino's just like, I didn't notice you any shedding tears at the news either. I'm going to miss him like when he got rid of a rotten aching tooth. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what's for lunch?
Right. So, disclaimer, I realize, obviously, because I work for the court system, that people that do these terrible things are much more nuanced and they have, complications and reasons that they are this way. However, Mr. B's a book character. I'm just going to hate him because he's one-dimensional and I can do that. And I'm going to.
And literally the chapter ends with Ami Sarata is like, I want that kid. Get me a picture of that Spider-Man.
And his little dog, too.
I had made that joke in my notes earlier and I'd forgotten to do it. But yeah, I'll get you, my weird kid. And your little dog, too.
I mean, it's probably one of the most low-hanging fruit you can make with this series. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to complain. I make low fruit hanging jokes all the time. So, you go right ahead. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, basically, and his whole rationale for I still want this, like, it's one kid, they point that out, because he is no ordinary boy, and he's defied my will. He escaped and got the better of me, but I can't allow anybody, boy or man, to do that. Should well know, understand now, my friend. Okay, Ahab. Seriously.
I mean, that seems like a pretty common trope, too, not just in Jake's writings, but in a lot of places where it's like, why does the big bad villain feel threatened by one small, usually child? And I mean, if you look at the real world, at politics, it's like that's the way dictatorships run. You have to quash even the little rebellions, otherwise the big ones will start to form and people will start to get ideas. The only way to maintain absolute control is to continue to crush every little thing in front of you. And Al Miserata is sensing that if he lets this one get away, people will start to think less of him. Or maybe that's just his ego talking. Who knows?
Column A and B here. Because literally this ends with Almi Sorata looks out to the storm. Then I will find you tomorrow, boy, and your dog. So yes, he's the freaking Wicked Witch of the West. Okay?
Yep.
But at least the Wicked Witch of the West had actual rationale to go after Dorothy because Dorothy corpse looted her sister.
Yes.
Just saying. I really like
agree.
that movie, by the way. That's a great movie.
I know, but under every inheritance law in the books, those shoes belong to Elphaba. They really did.
I would respect that book/play/franchise a whole lot more, but it kicked off Disney's absolutely terrible practice of, okay, let's tell the villain side of the story. Let's try to make them sympathetic. It's like, can't they just be bad for being the sake of bad?
There's very few villains that day who definitely are bad for the sake of being bad. I agree. So, but yes, so that's where book 2 ends, and I'm sure this convent will come into play in the next book.
Yeah, we're having none of it.
I get it.
Sorry.
No. You don't tell me any nonsense.
Oh no, he
I
drank
know,
the Kool-Aid.
These puns, they're habit forming.
I'm all alone.
All right. So, my thighs. I don't think have you ever done the Where to Find Us?
I think I've tried to do it once. I always drop out after the second part, so don't give it to me. I'm gonna mess it up bad.
You want me to try?
Sure.
Okay.
And it's totally because I'm just stalling for time to look up our ratings.
Oh, if you wanted me to stall, I could probably come up with at least another half dozen puns.
Well, I mean, that's true. Or does anyone have any extra thoughts on this before we go off?
I want more of Seraphina's perspective. I will get into more of why I want more of that next time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I loved the puppy. Any book with a puppy in it, I can't completely hate. And
Yep.
I loved Eli and Joshua. Yeah, I don't know. I liked some parts of it. I very deeply did not like some parts of it. So it's sort of like a mixed bag for me, honestly. But there were definitely parts that I did like.
And as for me, I also liked Eli and Joshua and the whole crew of the White Ram. They were a lot of fun. And I was chatting with KD earlier, saying, I really wish the entire book had been just them. And instead of having Al and his crew, just that they could have hooked up with Eli and just basically done a, Indiana Jones type adventure. I mean, you have Jewish characters, just bring in some artifact from Jewish history. It could have been incredible. That's all I'm saying. But I suppose Brian wanted to do something different because he already did Treasure Hunt in book 1.
I just don't understand why he had to do a romance.
Yeah.
Was it necessary? No, it was not.
I mean,
the only romance that Brian did good was Martin and Rose.
I mean, kind of. Here's the thing, and we briefly brought it up here, but it might as well have this topic, and I'm sure we'll cover it next time. Ben is probably around 100 years old at this point.
Yes.
And granted, he is 14 and full of puberty hormones, and I would not want to do that again, as we said last time. But
right.
He's a centurion, 100-year-old, who is looking at another teenager.
Yeah.
Very Edward Cullen vibes.
Yup.
Ugh.
Oh, so you're calling him out then?
Oh no. Shall I do the thing of where they can find us?
Before you do, I did check our reviews. We don't have any new numerical or written reviews. And if you want to have us read your name on the show, I would love to see your written review.
So we're still perfect.
Yes, of course.
Sweet. So you can find our perfect podcast at recorderonthewall.com. We are found on all podcasting platforms. Wow, I can do this. It's fine. Including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and probably other stuff that I do not know. We have a presence on the Eulalia subreddit, the Redwall forums. We have an email address, rotwpod@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @rotwpod. Please rate and review. I probably missed some stuff, but that's where you can find us.
Okay.
Well, that was better than I could have done.
Yeah. So, all right, cruise director, where's the water slide? Yes, I want to go swimming on a pool while I'm on a ship.
Down the hall, first door on the right.
Thank you.
I want to speak to the manager.
Okay, down the hall, first door on the right.
Hey! Till next time. I'm Pete.
I'm Matthias.
I'm Katie. Farewell.